Meeting of the Stearns County Planning Commission will begin. There are a few rules I'd like to read through before we get started. First of all, I'll just ask everyone to silence electronic devices. All comments and testimony shall be directed to me as the chair. All persons providing information must state their name and address for the record. This is how the meeting will run. I will ask at this time for public testimony to complete a speaker card. If you haven't already given us your name and agenda item number that you wish to comment on. I will read the applicant request, which will open the public hearing. While I'm reading the request, the applicant or their representatives should come forward and have a seat in front of the commission by the microphone there. Environmental Services staff will review the staff report and any correspondence that has been received regarding the request. The applicant and or representatives will state their name and address and provide any input, corrections, concerns, comments, etc. to what the staff reports. The commission will discuss the request and ask questions of staff or applicants. Upon completion of the commission's questions, I will ask if there is anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this request. If there is, I will ask the person to fill out a speaker card. I already mentioned that. Come to the podium, state their name and address for the record, and give their testimony. When all testimony is complete, I will ask the commission members for a motion to close the public hearing. No further input will be taken once the public hearing is closed unless requested by the chair or if one of the commission members is seeking clarification. The commission will review and discuss the findings of fact. The findings are a series of questions that the commission is required to answer based on Minnesota statute and the requirements of the ordinance. We have one excused absent tonight. We do not have anybody attending virtually, which is allowed, but in this case, it is not happening tonight. Everyone else is present. With that, I will perform a roll call of all Planning Commission members. District 1, Cindy?
Here.
District 2 is myself, here. District 3, Greg? Here. District 4, Dave Knopfler is an excused absence. District 5, Leroy?
Here.
At-large member Rich?
Here.
And at-large member Angie?
Here.
And ex officio, Joe Persky? Yep. Very good, thank you. At this time, I'd like to have a stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. All right. The first item on the agenda is a interim use permit request submitted by Skyline Aggregate, Hutchinson, Minnesota, on behalf of Rebecca L. Heinz Trust, Bruton, Minnesota, according to sections 4.18, 7.17, and 9.3.3F of Stearns County Land Use and Zoning Ordinance 439. The request is to have a mining operation on approximately 5.39 acres for 10 years in the Ag 40 A40 zoning district. The property is in part of the southeast quarter, southwest quarter, lying west of County Road 18 in section 19 of Crow Lake Township. Let's see, looks like we have the applicant, Dee and Craig Reiner attending virtually. So let's see, at this point, I will take a roll call of members who have visited the site. Let's see, we'll start with Angie.
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Leroy,
Yes.
Dave is not here. Greg,
Yes.
I did. Cindy?
I did.
Very good, all right. Okay, staff report.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Planning Commission members. Mr. Reiner, if you could turn on your camera at this time, that would be wonderful.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We
Oops,
can.
my camera shows that it is on.
Yeah, we just can't see you. Do you have to open it on your laptop? Up on
I've
the
got it
top?
open. I've got it open. Hang on a second here. I'm gonna get some help. Hold on.
Okay. In the meantime, I will start with the staff report.
Fourth grader.
So as Dave mentioned, they are requesting to mine on 5.39 acres of this property. The mining would be right when you drive into the property, it'll be to the north of the driveway on 5 acres there. If you were out there, you saw it's kind of a hill there, a bit of a knoll. So based on wetland review, there is wetland to the north. And the mining operation that's proposed would avoid the wetland. So as long as they stick to this area, they do propose a silt fence on one of their maps along the northeastern edge there to protect the wetland from any impact. Let's see here. And the depth of the mining doesn't also anticipate an impact to the wetland on this one. If there was to be any inadvertent or unintended wetland impacts, they would have to comply with the Wetland Conservation Act. All right, so as far as the general performance standards, they'll need to put up a gate at the entrance of the access road into the pit as required in the ordinance. Safety fencing is not required because they're not the required amount of homes within 400 feet of the pit. You can see the driveway that comes off of County Road 18. The very first part of the driveway is actually on the property to the south. So they'll need to, and this is proposed in the conditions on the permit, but they'll need to either secure an easement for that use of that driveway for the gravel operation or remove the driveway onto Rebecca Hines' property. So they're working on that now. They're working on obtaining an easement, and if that's not successful, they're aware that they would have to move the driveway. And we would request that that be done before they start any mining on the property. As far as screening goes, the application does state that they'll have a berm. I'll let Craig get readmitted.
I'm sorry, I have not been able to get the camera on. It shows it's on mine. We're grabbing another computer.
Okay.
You're on. Your camera's not working.
But you can hear us, Craig?
Yes.
Okay.
We have two
You can hear on here?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Just a minute, I'm gonna turn the volume up here a little bit. Okay,
Can they hear you?
can you
Yep,
hear me now?
We can hear you, Craig. Can you hear us?
I definitely can. Yes, I can.
Perfect. All right. So as far as the screening barrier goes, they're going to have a berm next to the driveway they'll stockpile their topsoil there, so that'll create some screening there. They do meet setback requirements to the road and the property lines. Hours of operation, they're requesting 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. So they're not proposing to operate at all on Saturdays. And we typically prohibit operation on Sundays and federal holidays. We talked about the access road, signage. They'll need to post a sign at the entrance to the pit indicating the property owner name, the operator's name, and contact information. The surrounding land uses is really just ag land and some areas of wetland. There's only one home and one feedlot within a half mile, which is the property owner's home and feedlot. So not much out there for homes. The end use plan is for the site to be regraded, then they'll respread the topsoil and then seed it with a pasture mix. All right. So as far as proposed conditions would go, if the Planning Commission recommends approval, we would require an expiration date. And again, they're requesting 10 years, and that's the maximum allowed in the ordinance. Set the hours of operation. Submit a financial guarantee in the amount of $35,035, which equates to $6,500 per acre. Post truck hauling signs during times of hauling. Prior to commencing mining, post that identification sign. Prior to commencing mining, gate the entrance, and the gate shall be locked before and after approved hours of operation. Prior to commencing mining, obtain an easement to use the driveway or relocate the driveway. If they relocate it, they'll need a permit from the County Highway Department. Also a condition that the operation shall comply with the Minnesota Wetland Conservation Act. No fill may be placed in the wetland. The area designated for parking may be wetland, but they may use it for parking as long as they don't put any fill there. Show the proposed berm location on map B. They mentioned a berm, but they didn't actually show it on the map, so we'll have them just show that. And then comply with all performance standards in section 7.17 of the zoning ordinance. And that's what I have.
Awesome, thank you. Applicant Craig Reiner, can you hear me, and did you hear what staff had to say?
Yes, I did.
Is there
I think
anything you'd like to add?
I don't think so. We've discussed it a little bit. I think we're both under full understanding what needs to be done.
Okay. Very good. This is the public hearing. Was there any correspondence received regarding this request?
No correspondence.
Okay.
And could we also have Mr. Reiner give his address?
Oh, sorry. Craig, could you state your full name and address, please?
It's Craig Reiner, and my home address is 67472 CSAH 33, Darwin, Minnesota.
Okay, very good.
Our business address, do you want that too?
Is that necessary? No, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's see. Is there anybody in the audience wishing to comment on this item? Anybody at all? Going once? Going twice? All right.
Mr. Chair,
Commission, do you have questions?
I was going to make a motion to close the public hearing.
And I would second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to close the public hearing. Any further questions or discussion?
I have a question.
Yep.
So County Road 18 to the south of that driveway is kind of a hill. And if a large gravel truck is coming out of there, where are they placing the signs? Just to kind of mitigate any potential accidents.
If you're asking me, I mean, I would have to look at this site a little closer, but we definitely want to have back to the next intersection, I would guess, is where we'd want truck hauling signs. Typically, we put up at least one portable sign from each direction.
Thank you.
Okay. So motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to close the public hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the public hearing is closed. Any further discussion that members of the commission have with the staff or applicant?
This is Commissioner Persky. I've got a couple of questions.
I look at your application and I see there were a couple of changes that were just made on the permit request. For example, the initial request was from July to October, and then it was switched to April to November. Likewise, in the hours of operations, it had 2 months and then switched over to 8 months. Can I ask why were those changes made, or what's the intent there?
I just think it was made probably to broaden the time that we can use that place. The initial plan is for a project in Candy, Ohio County for a gravel regrading project.
That gets to my
And,
third question, yeah, and that was where you intended, because I didn't see a Stearns County road that we were looking at in particular, but you got a project you're looking at in Candy, Ohio.
That is correct.
And that's not a problem, that's fine. I'm just curious, with April, we would maybe have road restrictions in April. And with that heavy equipment, I'm not sure how that would play out with having that open in April. But obviously, we would be concerned about those county roads down there and what the capacity would be to handle that.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to go to May, I don't have any problem with it. We just put in dates would cover the construction season.
Okay.
Realistically, this pit, if to be used, it is going to be for government contracts. So
Sure.
what I mean by that would be if there's a county road grading project or if there is a city project. And those projects would typically fall into times when road restrictions have been lifted. So I don't see any reason we'd be in there early by any means. But main purpose-
I'd have no trouble switching it to May, but also I want to commend you. We very much appreciate that as a resource. Anytime we can find gravel that's available, that's close to get projects done, we'd like to take advantage of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
One other question was about the reclamation. Where are we with the water table there? You said you're going to grade and then you're going to put the black top, the topsoil back down. Oftentimes with pits, they go below the water table, and that's a little difficult to put that topsoil down. So I'm just curious where the water table is and how that reclamation might look.
This one, we're going to stay above the high water level, just because the owner would like to have that back for pasture for their cattle.
Okay, so you wouldn't be doing any,
this
and I
one-
think I think there's no dewatering in there. I think I saw that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
It's gonna stay above water level.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Chair. Yeah, thank you so much for all the great explanation. Regarding the water table, I noticed that the water table was at 1281 and the bottom of the pit was at 1284. So it stays like 3 feet, just 3 foot above the water table. So it seems the excavation should not be within the groundwater. Would that be correct to say? And if it is, then obviously there is a wetland. There are regulations there that are stipulated in the permit, correct?
That is correct. We're gonna stay above the water.
Above the water table. And then it will be filled, it's a 10-year permit, that's my understanding. I mean, the intent is for 10 years, and then it will be restored back to pasture, filled back to the top, right, with clay or whatever,
We're gonna have to strip some black dirt off.
black
of it.
dirt, yep.
If you looked at the site, you'll see there's a considerable amount of rock in that topsoil, but that's what, it'll go back on, it'll be pasture. There's a very good chance that this will be restored in a lot shorter time than what's
Okay.
Being applied for, but at least we have all the bases covered and would not need to come back to reapply if we decided to extend it beyond this initial project.
Mr. Chair, if I
Yes.
can clarify too, just to Angie's comment, they're not necessarily going to replace all the material they've taken out. There will be a depression there that the end use plan shows. but it will be gradually rolling topography is what's required in the ordinance, and like Craig said, they'll replace the topsoil and then seed it with a pasture mix.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
and this might be a question for staff. Being that there's a wetland right beside it, would it be possible, I mean, if they decide they've got a good source of gravel there, could they create a wetland out of this property at some point? And what would that take? What would that look like?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Gonringer, that is something that sometimes happens from time to time with gravel pits, but they would have to go through a specific process, and I don't know what that is. So, and I do think that's something they have to identify ahead of time before they start the mining. So, yeah, that's done though from time to time.
Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll jump into findings of fact. Okay, hearing none. First is the proposal consistent with the zoning ordinance? Why or why not?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
it is consistent with zoning ordinance 439, sections 4.18, 7.17, and 9.3.6. A mining operation is allowed as an interim use in the Ag 40 zoning district.
Thank you, Rich. Number two, does the proposal conform to the comprehensive plan of the county? Please list applicable sections when you comment.
Mr. Chair, I believe it does. Under the aggregate resources policy, number 2 and 3. Number 2 is to manage aggregate resources to provide for the extraction of high-quality aggregate prior to non-agricultural development on the site. And number 3 is to adopt regulations to minimize nuisances from aggregate extraction that affect developed areas and that ensure the restoration of the extraction sites to protect other natural resources and natural functions.
Very good, thank you. Number 3, is the proposal compatible with the existing neighborhood? Why or why not?
Again, Mr. Chair, I believe it is. There are at least 2 gravel pits just to the north, less than a mile, I would assume, away.
Very good. Number 4, how has the applicant demonstrated that standards and criteria stated in the ordinance will be satisfied?
Mr. Chair, a candidate or applicant has demonstrated by, in discussion with him, and they will follow the recommendation by staff for the permit approval
Very good.
and follow the standards.
Thank you, Angie. Item number 5, other issues pertinent to this matter. I don't know if I saw anything from the township. Is there? Nothing?
We
Okay.
did not get anything from the township.
I don't believe any federal, state permits are required, I don't believe. Any environmental concerns? Information submitted regarding impact of property values, issues related to public health, safety, traffic, public service, including schools, parks. It's pretty densely not very densely populated area at all. Financial assurance required. I don't believe there's any of those issues apply. So, is there a motion to approve or deny this interim use permit request?
Make a motion.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Mr. Chair, I will second the motion with, if we could just amend the motion a little bit to add the 10 conditions that are listed that they have to follow.
Greg, are you good with that? Okay. So motion's been made by Greg, recognizing the 10 conditions that are listed as part of the report. So that's second by Leroy. All in favor?
Mr. Chair,
Oop.
are we going to switch, are we going to take April out and start the month of May? Is that approved or not? The request was April
Yeah.
to November?
Mr.
I
Chair,
would, I would be okay with that, if Greg's amenable to that with his motion.
or just put them into
From the-
the road restriction, maybe road restriction as applicable, because sometimes they change, that changes the road restriction depending on the weather and so forth, so
If you want to make it when road restrictions are lifted?
contingent to the road restriction, statewide road restriction rules, and that's what I believe they will have to do if they work on a government contract.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so there could be some hauling in April if the road constrictions
Are
restrictions are
lifted.
lifted. Okay,
Yep.
all right.
For,
So, okay, let's go back one more
From,
time.
from the applicant side, this is Craig again. I am absolutely fine with going to May with it if
Okay.
that just
there you go,
makes it easier.
we can do that too.
So, motion's been made. Greg, you're good with the 10 conditions. The amendment to one of those is the fact that hauling could not commence in April, until the road restrictions are off. Are you good with that?
I am.
Commence in May.
Sorry?
I'm sorry, I believe that we want to commence in May.
Well, I heard that it has to do with the road restrictions. If they're off in April, they could start hauling.
I think the applicant had requested just to make it simpler to go to.
Oh,
Yeah, just
I
to go to
misunderstood. Okay, all right.
And Mr. Chair, quick question for clarification. So the application states April to November for mining, and then it says 8 months for processing. Can we keep those both consistent where they would both be May to November?
From
Processing,
the applicant's side, that would be fine.
okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right, okay. So everything now is May 1st. Greg, you're good with that?
I am.
Leroy, I think you seconded, you're good with it?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, now I'll ask. Motion to approve or deny. All in favor, aye?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, your motion is, the application is approved. Congratulations. I believe this will appear before the county commissioners on July 14th.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, got through that one. All right. Item number 2 is another interim use permit. I believe the applicant is here. Tom, if you'd like to make your way to the microphone, and if there's any speaker cards, please submit those. But I'll read the opening statement here. To consider an interim use permit request submitted by Northern Lines Contracting, Hanover, Minnesota, on behalf of James and Shannon Mueller, Melrose, Minnesota, according to sections 4.18 and 7.17 and 9.3.6F of Stearns County Land Use and Zoning Ordinance number 439. This request is to have a mining operation on approximately 7.21 acres through 2026 in an agricultural 40, A40 zoning district. The property is in part of the southeast quarter, southwest quarter, lying north of County Road 169 in Section 13 of Melrose Township. Members who visited the site, I did. Cindy?
Yes, I did.
Greg?
Yes.
Leroy?
Yes.
Rich?
yes.
Angie?
Yes.
And Joe?
Yes.
Staff report. Jennifer?
Okay, another mining request, this time on 7.21 acres. This is for a specific county road project, which is the reconstruction of County Road 169, which is right along the proposed mining site. So there are wetlands near this site as well. Staff were out on this property in May, determined there's not wetland present within the mining footprint. There is a large wetland to the west. Again, there's no required setback for mining. It's anticipated that this pit is actually going to be excavated deeper than the water level in the wetland, but due to the short duration of the permit, because they're only requesting this to be for this one project, for this one season, due to the short duration and then the proposed return of material to the original contours, it's anticipated any lateral effects on the wetland would be temporary and may meet the Wetland Conservation Act no loss. But if there were to be permanent wetland impacts, they would need to be in compliance with the Wetland Conservation Act. So other performance standards on this one, the access road will be, it's shown on a couple pages up. They're going to use the existing approach that goes into that property right now, right there, yeah. So you see that red rectangle right along County Road 169. So that is where the access will be into the pit. Typically require truck hauling signs. We don't see a need for it if the material is only going to be used on this road project. But if they were to use material outside of the 169 project, then they would have to post the truck hauling signs. No screening is proposed based on the duration of the project. They will meet all setbacks. The main thing is 200 feet from the home to the south, and they'll be well over that. And then, yeah, the other map show, there you go. They moved the mining a bit further to the north to meet the 200-foot setback and then also meeting the road setback. For hours of operation, they're requesting 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. And mining is prohibited Sundays and federal holidays. This one, again, is not proposing any Saturdays. Signage, typically there's a sign required at the entrance. We weren't proposing to require it on this one due to the project being right there, right on the road that the pit is on. For the surrounding area, so this again is primarily an agricultural area with wetlands in the vicinity. There's about 11 homes and 8 feedlots within a half a mile of the property. The creek to the west is Adley Creek. It's a tributary. The mining, though, will not be in shoreland. It's over 300 feet from the creek. The end-use plan for this site is to be restored to farmland and ceded at the landowner's discretion. The proposed conditions on this one, so there's 6 proposed conditions. The expiration date would propose to be December 31st of this year, 2026. Setting the hours of operation 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. No operating on Saturdays, Sundays, and federal holidays. Submitting the financial guarantee, so with 7 acres, that comes to $46,865 to ensure reclamation. Requiring truck hauling signs if material is hauled outside the County Road 169 project limits. A requirement that the mining shall comply with the Wetland Conservation Act, and then that they meet all performance standards contained in Section 7.17 of the county zoning ordinance. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Thielen, was there anything you'd like to add to the staff report?
No.
Okay. Oh, I forgot. Again, could you state your name and address for us, please? Yep.
There we go.
And so they can pick it up, could you make sure you speak into the mic, please?
Yes, my name's Thomas Thielen. I represent Northern Lines Contracting, and we are in Hanover, Minnesota.
Okay.
I have to look up the actual here quick. Yeah, it's on Lamont Avenue. I was just trying to remember the number.
Close enough.
Yep.
Perfect.
We got it. We got it. Thank you. I'm sorry, go back. Nothing to add at all, sir?
No.
Okay, very good. Any correspondence received?
Yes, Mr. Chair, there was a couple of emails received from Chuck Barth. He's the neighbor right across the street to the south. So those were in your packets, but I'll just summarize them quick. So Chuck said, I just want my concerns heard about the proposed gravel pit on County Road 169. First is that when the construction is complete, that the materials for the project are moved out when the permit is ended. He doesn't want the pit there indefinitely, so he's just concerned that it's cleaned up and reclaimed. And then also that there's dust control taken care of by the contractor. And then the other concern that Chuck raised was the driveway location. So he had thought the driveway to the pit was going to be right across from his driveway, but it turns out it's not going to be. It's going to be to the west where the existing driveway is. So that shouldn't be a concern. And then he suggested that we send the mining map along with the public notices. So that's all I have.
Is there anybody in the audience wishing to comment on this agenda item? Going once, anybody? Don't see any movement, so, Commission, any questions you have for staff or applicant?
Mr. Chair. Mr. Thielen, that is correct, that access is not going to interfere with his driveways. Have you already discussed that?
Yes. Okay. He mistook a line that referred to the distance from his property to our mining pit as a driveway.
Oh, okay.
So that's where that was.
Other questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Could you address the dust control? I mean, you're going to be pounding up and down the road right in front of the pit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you typically use dust control when you're doing construction anyway?
Yes. We have a scraper converted into a water truck. So
Okay.
yeah, that'll be about 6,000 gallons of load. So yeah, we're used to that. That's normal.
Yeah. So that shouldn't be an issue for
No.
the neighbors.
Other questions?
Just on the wetland, it will be probably mining within the wetland, but it's short duration, and that will be monitored and making sure that it's
More than
wetland
likely, what we're gonna do is fill it as we excavate it.
as you excavate. Okay.
Because if you leave it open too long, then you allow the water to come in. So you're better off, we're gonna be hauling two ways. We take sand out, we bring common
fill
clay
in.
back. So there won't be a giant hole in the ground left for very long at all. Yeah, we'll for sure get it above the water table. If we go below, we'll wanna fill it in right away just to avoid that mess.
Yep, makes sense. Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made by Rich. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. I got ahead of myself. Is there any further discussion at this point? Otherwise, I'll go into findings of fact. Okay, findings of fact. Number one, is the proposal consistent with the zoning ordinance? Why or why not?
Mr. Chair,
Yep, Rich.
the proposal is consistent with the zoning ordinance 439 in sections 4.18, 7.17, and 9.3.6, letter F. A mining operation is allowed as an interim use in a Ag 40 zoning district.
Thank you, Rich. Number two, does the proposal conform to the comprehensive plan of the county? List applicable sections.
Mr. Chair, I believe it does, under the connectivity goals, number 1 and 5. Number 1 is develop and maintain a transportation system that promotes the safety, mobility, and access of all users. And number 5 is provide county infrastructure, services, and facilities that benefit the residents of the county in a cost-effective manner.
Thank you, Leroy. Number 3, is the proposal compatible with the existing neighborhood? Why or why not?
Mr. Chair, it's compatible for some and not compatible for others, but because of the control on the dust situation and being that they're building a road right adjacent to the gravel pit, it has minimal impact.
Thank you, Rich. Number 4, how has the applicant demonstrated that standards and criteria stated in the ordinance will be satisfied?
Mr. Chair, through the 6 conditions.
I agree. Thank you. And number 5, other issues pertinent to this matter, township input, federal, state, local permits, environmental concerns, information submitted regarding the impact of the property values, public health, safety, traffic, public service, facilities, including schools, parks, streets, financial assurance required. I don't believe any of those applied. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hearing none. I would entertain a motion to approve or deny this interim use permit. Keep in mind, there are 6 conditions reflected in the report. And if you are in support of those or wish to amend any of those, please state so in your motion.
Mr. Chair, I will make the motion, but I just want a clarification maybe from staff. Under the staff report, under hours of operation, it says typically mining prohibits operation on Sundays and federal holidays. And the conditions just lists 1, 2, 3, 4 federal holidays. Aren't there like 18 of them? Well, maybe that's more, maybe not that many.
I don't have an answer for you right off the top of my head. We looked this up years ago. And so we only list the ones that are during the
Construction, right?
construction season for starters.
I think you missed Juneteenth. Is that one of them?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner, or Leroy Godringer, we talked about that holiday, and I don't know who was, Richard and Commissioner Persky would have been on the board yet. And we went through all the holidays, and they indicated that that was not going to be on the list because it was during prime construction season.
So I guess I was just, it seems like a sort of a contradiction, but so we're just dealing with the ones that are listed.
Correct.
That's correct. And it's probably more accurate to just list them and not say federal holidays, which actually the conditions just list them. The specific holidays that they're prohibited from operating on.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I just,
We'll work on making that more consistent in the staff report for the next time.
I was just trying to stir trouble.
Of course. I wouldn't expect anything else.
Leroy, just to be clear, you're okay with the conditions as listed?
Yes,
And you make the motion?
I will make the motion to approve this request with the 6 conditions.
Very good.
I'll
Is there-
second that.
Rich seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carries unanimously. Again, this will appear before the Stearns County Commissioners on July 14th. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 3. Applicants John and Lynn Berger? Okay. Thank you for coming. This is, I'm going to read this paragraph. To consider a request for an after-the-fact conditional use permit submitted by John and Lynn Berger, Sartell, Minnesota, according to sections 4.8, 6.38, and 9.7.5F of Stearns County Land Use and Zoning Ordinance Number 439 to operate a limited rural business, Colorful Concepts Painting in the Residential 5 or R5 zoning district. The property under consideration is located in part of the northeast quarter, northwest quarter, and part of Government Lot 1 lying east of County Road 1 and south of Scenic View Drive in Section 33 of Brockway Township. The address is 38922 County Road 1, Sartell, Minnesota. Members who visited the site, I did, Joe,
Yes.
Angie,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Leroy,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
and Cindy.
Yes.
Staff report, Jennifer.
Okay, thank you. So as you outlined, this is a request for an after-the-fact CUP for their business Colorful Concepts, which was started on the property in 2014. And upon receiving a written inquiry or complaint about a business being operated without a permit, we proceeded to start working with the Burgers on getting the necessary permit. The property is partially R5 and partially R1, and the business is, this is a limited rural business, which is allowed in the R5 district. None of the part of their property that's R1 is being used for the business, so that works out fine. They are using their existing access, which is right on County Road 1. And they also do have the access you probably saw from Scenic View Drive, which is a township road, but their main access is the entrance on County Road 1. There are no wetland concerns. The topography is fairly flat within the yard there. Their impervious lot coverage, though, does exceed the allowance of 25%, so they're at 26.4% impervious. So they've signed a compliance agreement indicating that they will rectify that by October 1st. And so their plan is to purchase additional land from their neighbor to the east, and then that will get them well below the 25%. They're planning on purchasing 2 acres, and that's been surveyed and that's in process. So when we look at the performance standards for a limited rural business, the property owner must live, or the business owner must live on the property, which they do. It can only be operated by people who lived on the property or up to 4 additional employees. So they do at times have 4 or fewer non-resident employees working on the property. And that does not apply to folks who just come to the site to pick up materials or vehicles or equipment and leave. So there's not any outdoor display. They indicate no outdoor display or storage. If you were out there, you saw that they have quite a bit of like vehicles and stuff outside, and those are all very well screened from the roads behind the vegetation along County Road 1, and then there's a fence along Scenic View Drive. Shall not generate excessive customer or client traffic, no offensive noise, vibration, smoke, etc. So those standards are being met. They are in compliance with the handicap accessibility code. They had the building inspector out there and he signed off on that already. There is plenty of room for parking, and there are even handicap identified signs for parking on the property as well. As I mentioned, screening is in place. Sign regulations, they don't have a specific plan for any signage at this time. One sign is allowed for the business, can be up to 32 square feet and 10 feet off the road right of way. So if they choose to put up a sign, it's fine as long as they meet those standards. When we look at the area that they're in here, it's surrounded by a mixture of rural residential lots, some farmland. There's a solar farm to the south. There's about 28 homes within a half mile of the property, so it's a bit of a mixed use area here. There's a gravel pit nearby. On the future land use map, it is a concentrated development area. If the Planning Commission were to recommend approval, the conditions we would suggest is that noting that the property is subject to the compliance agreement and to address an unpermitted structure and unpermitted use and the impervious lot coverage. So they'll rectify that by obtaining the construction permit for the lean-to and complying with the 25% lot coverage by October 1st. Also a condition that one sign is allowed, meeting the standards contained in the ordinance, And then lastly, no more than 4 non-resident employees may be engaged in the conduct of the business on the premises at any one time. And that's all I have.
Thank you. John or Lynn, could you state your name and address, please?
My name's John Berger, or Jonathan Berger. Address is 38922 County Road 1, Sartell, Minnesota.
And Lynn?
My name is Lynn Bridgette Berger. I reside at 38922 County Road 1, Sartell, Minnesota.
All right, thank you. Anything that you would like to add to the staff report or comment on?
I think she pretty much covered it.
I guess I had a question, just to be clear. You're not really looking to make any changes to the buildings right now? You're just looking to bring this into compliance, and
Yeah.
so you're not looking at a specific addition project or anything like that?
We have plenty of buildings. All those buildings that you see, with the exception of the lean-to, was on the property when I purchased it.
Okay.
So, yeah. No, I mean, we're not, no.
Okay.
There's plenty of buildings there.
And I was just curious, like, how many, I know you probably have a limited number on site, but like, how many employees do you have that probably are painting elsewhere? in
Yeah.
there?
So our W-2 employees that we have, you got to remember, so we paint all over the Midwest. We've worked in 39 of the lower 48 states.
Okay.
And what do you call it? So we have current staff that we employ from Fargo, Moorhead area, all the way through the 94 corridor down to Burnsville, kind of, Burnsville area, Shakopee area. And then we go up 35. We got a couple staff that are Princeton and Pine City, and then as far west as Wilmer off of Highway 23. So, there's about 30 W-2 employees, so that we have. But like I said, we're painting, deal with Fire Hall, we're painting, the Fargo Moorhead, or the Moorhead Ice Arena, we're painting. We're in Jewel City, North Dakota, working on the reservation. We still do a lot of residential painting, and our residential areas of operation are the metro, and then we usually follow Highway 10 and 94 corridor up, probably to Alexandria, and then over to, Brainerd, Pequot Lakes.
Awesome.
So it's, yeah. I mean, so it seems like, we'll go, we talk to staff every day, but very rarely do we all get together. It's more than maybe once or twice a year where we do like a holiday party, and then we do a safety committee or safety meeting, and we all get together, for an afternoon, and we do lift training and safety trainings and stuff like that. So it's about twice a year.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
John, then can I ask, is this then the headquarters for your building? Or
Yes,
for
sir.
For the
Yep.
operation? And how long have you been there?
Since 2014.
Okay.
Yep.
It looked like it was maybe at one time a farm?
Yep. Yeah, it was a Perry farm. It was, what is
fam-
it? John's still got the sign. John's my neighbor, and I go over to his shed, and I think it was called Moonlight Dairy.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it wasn't your family necessarily, it was just something?
Well, it's kind of funny because when I was a kid growing up, I grew up in St. Stephen, and I didn't know John at the time, but John would let myself and 3 other young men goose hunt and duck hunt along the river there. And so now that I'm a little bit older, he lets me deer hunt. So, yeah, so.
Okay. Other questions? for
John, who's your
staff
FIED
rep?
teacher, if I can ask?
My FIED teacher?
Yeah.
Which high school?
In Sartell?
In Sartell? Well, Kellerman.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kellerman was one that I remember. Yeah, and he actually just lives, I was just over
I
to.
know where Jeff lives.
Yeah, he just lives a half a mile north, so, of me, yeah, so, but yeah.
Other questions from the commission?
I just have a question or two. You started in 2014. Did you start the business at that point, or were you somewhere else?
No, sir. Actually, we were, the business started in 2001, right? Yeah, so we started in 2001, and then I actually had a shop and house, same, much smaller operation than now, just a couple staff, much more local at that point. But I was in Opal, if you guys know where Opal is. And Polar and I hung out, so yeah, so we would, so that's where we started. So we've been around for about 25, 26 years, so Lynn started in 2007, yeah, so.
It sounds like you've been growing, and is that your plan to continue growing?
As long as it's manageable, you know. The growth that we're finding right now is staffing, and the staff that we're finding is on the metro area. So there've been talk, if we would grow any bigger, we would have another location. And I know Lynn's got hers picked out in Plymouth right off of 494, but hopefully it doesn't come with that price tag for a lease anyways. But if we did have any type of growth, you know, we would be doing an office down in the metro as well. So there'd be two locations. It would be this location and the one down in the metro. And so.
Mr. Chair, I have another question,
Yes.
and this goes to Jennifer. Jennifer, when you were talking about the staff report, you mentioned it being R5, and then you mentioned the house being in R1. I'm not quite sure I understand. Is there a division in the parcels? Are there two separate parcels, or what's the condition there?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, can you go back to the survey though? Does that show it? Oh, maybe it doesn't. That's just a survey line. No, I should have included that, but I can draw it here or kind of show it with my pointer. But the R1, so to answer your question, it's one parcel, and there are times when you have one parcel with multiple zoning districts on it. So the R1 line goes like, okay, I'm not very straight with my pointer, but it goes through this, right about there, yeah. So most of those buildings are in the R5, but the two long east-west buildings on the east side of the property are not used for the business. So they're partially R1, but they're not used for the business, so that's fine.
And Jennifer, what's confusing to me is then, but they're not platted that way. I don't see a separate lot. How can
No,
you?
there's not a separate lot. So we have many, many properties in the county that have more than one zoning district on them.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when we did the zoning, we didn't follow parcel lines. So it just was more broad strokes on the map back 26 years ago.
Yeah, the reason for that is we didn't have digitized maps. We didn't have all this fancy stuff, so we didn't have the parcel maps were not aligned with the zoning maps.
Mr. Chair, could I also add something I forgot to mention earlier?
Yep.
If you go up a couple pages, one more, right there. Okay, so this is a little different than in your packet because I put the wrong sheet in your packet. But under the hours of operation, so their hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. But then when I asked John to expand on that, is that the only times you ever have people on the property? No, not necessarily. So then he expanded to indicate that staff usually swings by the shop and grabs their equipment earlier, about between 7 and 8. And then at the end of the day, they're returning between 5 and 6. So we just wanted to clarify that that's about 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. is about when people are on the property during the day. So I just wanted to make sure that that was known. They don't have a lot of public coming into the property, but if they do, it's between 8 and 5.
Go ahead.
Chair, Jennifer, was there any talk about rezoning this property to like commercial?
Well, that's funny you asked because John and I talked about that actually when I was out there earlier this week. If, for example, if they wanted to grow here and have more than 4 employees on site, that would be one thing to consider is requesting a rezoning to commercial. But it gets a little tricky because houses aren't allowed in commercial. So we'd have to exclude part of their property that's their house. And then the question is also, is this an appropriate place for a commercial district? You know, right on County Road 1, close to the river. So that would be something the county would have to wrestle with if that ever came up as a application.
Mr. Chair, two questions. Could it at all be an IUP then? First question.
It's not listed as an IUP.
Okay,
No.
just because that would, then, you know, you could do the one time on it.
Right.
Yeah, the other question is, if it was a farm, I'm still confused about the R1 and the R5, because it was at a farm at one time. When it was a farm and there was that the, John, was that the house at
Yeah,
the farmhouse?
everything is, yeah, so,
In fact, the barn is where the office is now.
yeah,
Okay, so how did we get from that being an Ag 40 to it being as R1 and an R5? Now, we're a little bit off subject, but I'm confused.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. So there were areas of the county where the township sort of drove the zoning maps initially, and then the county board weighed in and made the final decision, but the decision was made locally that they wanted to see this area as a growth area, right along County Road 1. And so there are areas in the county where there was existing animal feedlots in operation that became zone residential. And this would have been one of them. I don't know how long ago John had animals there, do you know?
he said, he got rid of milking cows in the early, when he was probably about 25 years ago, and then, but he still had probably about 50 head of beef cattle.
Yeah, so he
For about
definitely.
10 years after that, so he got rid of them like early to mid-50s. So, and then I don't know, Uterman's own that field across the street, and then they also farm the field behind us, that John and I own, so. So I don't know how long or what, or,
Yeah. Yep, so it was a feedlot that got zoned residential.
Jennifer, I drove by to get there. I took the long way around and went past Frederick's Auto and Truck. You know if that's zoned commercial or residential?
Fredericks, that little corner up there is either industrial or commercial. I'll have to look quick.
That must be kind of,
That's commercial.
an island. I would think there's residential all around that.
Yeah, that is a bit of an island. There's a little cluster of businesses that were there when the zoning was adopted 26 years ago. So that was intentionally zoned commercial so that they would not become non-conforming. Yep.
Let's see, I don't recall if I asked, is there any written input?
Nope, no written comments.
And I don't see anybody in the audience anymore. I would, let's see, entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Leroy, is there a second?
I'll second.
Craig, second. All in favor of closing, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, public hearing is closed. Any further discussion on this permit request?
Mr. Chair, I have one final question of staff. You mentioned that there was a complaint is what triggered this. Hear what the complaint was?
The complaint basically was a business operating without obtaining the required permit to have a business. That's essentially what it was. There was an inquiry whether the business was permitted. And so upon looking at it, we said, nope, we didn't know the business was there, never got a permit, so then that's what prompted it.
But they didn't have a specific issue with it.
No.
Question for staff. Was there any input from Brockway Township?
No input from the township.
Do we have any firm comment previous what Brockway Township views this area potentially as being commercial, long range?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's zoned residential. A lot of the area is primarily zoned residential, so I think that's probably their long-range plan. But we do allow limited rural businesses in the R5 district, so.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the county map for 2040 from the 2040 plan, if this is a targeted, I shouldn't say targeted, but viewed upon as a transitional multi-use area.
Mr. Chair, Member Blankish, it's concentrated development for future land use.
Yeah.
Okay.
That whole kind of corner.
Yep.
Yep.
Other discussion? Hearing none, I will proceed to findings of fact. Item number 1, is the proposal consistent with the zoning ordinance? Why or why not?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
the proposal is consistent with the ordinance 439, sections 4.8, 6.38. Excuse me, and I have to check something here. Okay. Continuing. Sections 4.8, 6.38, and 9.75F.
Could've borrowed my paper.
Yeah,
That doesn't disappear.
my screen wasn't rolling.
All right. Thank you,
Anyways, for
Rich.
the county's land use ordinance 439.
Good. Number 2, does the proposal conform to the comprehensive plan of the county? List applicable sections.
Mr. Chair, I think we could go either way on this, but I'm gonna say it does. Under the changing economy policies, number 4, support innovative business models and new markets that enhance the county's economy. And, business goals, number 4, enhance the ability of local retail and commercial businesses to sustain small cities and rural town sites.
I would agree with that. Item number 3, is the proposal compatible with the existing neighborhood? Why or why not?
Mr. Chair, because the way the business is run, it becomes compatible with the area as far as quietness and impact with traffic impact, and things of that nature. So because of that, I would say it's compatible with the existing neighborhood.
I would agree. You hardly even notice it's there. Item number 4, how has the applicant demonstrated that standards and criteria stated in the ordinance will be satisfied?
Mr. Chair, the applicant is demonstrating by being present today and working with staff to diligently acquire a permit in due time. Do you foresee any issues obtaining the additional land by October of this year? So everything is moving along, the survey is being, once you are in below that 25% threshold, correct? Then all the required permit conditions as far as the 25% impervious, as well as the lean-to construction, I mean, the permit will be granted, correct?
Yes.
So
Yep,
everything will
that's
be in
correct.
compliance. So, okay.
And then lastly, other issues pertinent to this matter. I don't believe it was asked. The township did not comment on this. No permits are required. No environmental concerns identified. No obvious impact of property values in the area. Public health safety concerns are limited. Public service impacts limited. Financial assurance required to guarantee reclamation doesn't really apply.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I do have a question with regards to that, and that would be my concerns about chemicals and hazardous waste, because you're dealing with paints.
Yes, sir.
Okay, does that present any type of an issue that we should be addressing that we perhaps have missed?
So we don't do a tremendous amount, if any, paint. We do have a finish shop on site, but when you say finish shop, people think that millwork is showing up and doors and cabinets and siding and all that stuff. So if we get a job, that comes and we have 30 doors that need to get painted, we don't have residual business there that comes every week all the time. It's just based off the job. I know Lynn is waiting to talk because, with the Minnesota, or not Minnesota, the Paint Care Act, that got enacted, 10 years ago? I'm gonna let my wife talk on this because she's got all the details on that.
Yes. As far as storing and maintaining different paints and things like that, due to the Minnesota Paint Care Act, all of our materials are able to be recycled through our vendors. Also, when we're doing residential work, all leftover paints are typically left with the homeowners because they are the owners of that material. And same goes for our commercial sites. For the most part, our leftover materials are being left because they're bought and paid for on those projects.
And my question would be, do we want to maybe just list that as a condition that paints and hazardous materials will be handled appropriately according to statute? I'm just curious. Does that need to be said, or do we want that to be said?
Either.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Persky, it's assumed, I mean, we have in our ordinance that you have to meet all state, federal, local regulations. So similar to the mining that you heard tonight, there's other things that they have to meet with air quality, and I don't think you need to add that.
Although their industry, their business does, use materials like that. I mean, if it was a furniture business, we wouldn't be even talking about it. I mean, if it was another, or a plant shop or something like that. I'm just curious if we wanted to have the protection in the ordinance. That doesn't matter to me. I'm
If
just
you
wondering.
don't add it, they still have to
They still have
follow
to
it.
comply.
And
Good.
they would still be in violation if they weren't.
Correct. And then I just want to comment, this business is a business that I probably has expanded because of the internet and because of being able to be online, and you're able to communicate with your clients and your staff. And we're approaching to get broadband all the way across the county. And so, I mean, this is just another incidence where hopefully, rather than having people to relocate, to the urban area, that rather than going to Maple Grove or wherever you're intending to go, that you stay in Sartell and appreciate the business that we can have.
Well,
throughout the
we'd like
county.
to stay there, so,
We had better hunting up here.
yes, very much so. Yeah, it's pretty neat, all like with the software, and this is all in, but 15 years ago it was paper time cards, now it's all GPS tracked, and we have CRM systems that they can bring up work orders, they can do everything, and it's pretty interesting. It's actually pretty amazing, so. And then like all of our digital takeoff software with like the bids and stuff like that we get from architects, but just interacting with staff, like, it's awesome because we can upload something and they'll real time go into the app, do everything, and they can look at plans from architects or, or they can take pictures, and actually we have it where, like, if we're working with a client, wherever, Gull Lake, wherever, and if they're down in Florida or whatever, and they want to watch, they can have an app and they can remote into the app and they can see all the pictures and talk with the staff and do it. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. So that was a lot of my wife. So
All right. Any further discussion at all? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to approve or deny the after-the-fact conditional use permit.
I move to recommend approval of the after-the-fact conditional use permit.
With the three.
The three conditions that are listed.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Rich seconds. Any further discussion on the motion to approve? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Approved unanimously. This will go to the county board on July 14th. Good luck. You'll do well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, another item on the agenda.
Minutes.
Again, with broadband, hopefully that'll keep
absolutely.
some of those smaller communities.
I move we approve the minutes.
We have minutes from May 28th. I believe it was part of your packet. I would
Good luck with it.
entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion that we approve last month's.
Motion by Rich to approve the
Minutes.
minutes, I'm sorry. Second?
Second.
By Greg. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Let's see, item number 5 is to adjourn. Next meeting is July 23rd. Do we know what we're looking at? 3 items?
3 solar permits.
Oh,
So,
that's no.
Oh, but 2 of them are a repeat. The Perry property
No, Meadowbrook
or Meadowbrook.
and Trout. Those 2, so they were issued 3 solar permits 2 years ago. And they've got one underway, but the other two will expire, so they want to redo those. Yeah, on one of them.
One of them.
Yep. And then the third solar is by Meyer Grove?
Yeah, the Meyer property.
And I don't know if anybody's been up by Halfway Crossing, it's an enormous
Oh, yeah,
going up by Halfway Crossing.
huge.
Yeah.
What jurisdiction is that?
That, well, it's Benton County, that's, what's the township?
Oh, is that the big,
Right by the potato farm.
Between,
the state permit? Yeah.
Yeah, from the county road all the way to the railroad tracks and even towards where the tubing is,
Sure.
yeah.
there's gotta be at least, there's over 1,000 acres, I bet.
Yeah, it's.
That's big.
Yeah.
Yes, question.
So this couple that was here, we did a interim, no, a conditional use permit after the fact for a business. Do they have to come back and then we have to do a permit for that building, that lean-to? Or did all that get approved at one time?
The permit for the lean-to is just a administrative construction site permit, so I will approve that. Once they get their impervious taken care of under 25%, then they've applied for the construction permit, but I can't issue it until their impervious is okay. But that's just administrative, yep.
Got it.
I just have a quick question. Driving back from that Melrose site, I drove, kind of wiggled through Thunder Road, and I noticed that landfill. I think it was Becker's landfill. And there's, who monitors that? Is that the state monitors the, because I noticed there's wells there.
Are you talking about the landfill itself?
There's a landfill there, and I saw, pipes
Oh.
coming out of the ground.
Yeah, that's the MPCA.
They monitor that on an occasional basis?
I think they own it.
They
I think
own
the
it.
state owns it.
Oh, the state owns it.
Yeah.
Weren't there a lot of cars on that property too?
There's
Are they still there?
And some of the adjacent property.
Yeah.
If there's cars on the state's property, that's the state's problem.
Is anything ever gonna happen with those cars?
We have an opinion from the county attorney on that whole situation that Shelley can decide if she wants to share with the planning commission, but that was brought up, Commissioner Persky brought that up years ago. The long and short of it, it's a legal nonconformity. It existed prior to the year 2000, and if that happens, people can have uses exist. We don't have any authority to require them to do anything, so.
Oh, I guess the good and bad news is this, any fluids
They're
are
long
probably
gone.
already leaked out into the river.
Long gone.
So it'd
But just a lot of dollars worth of metal there that they could have recycled. Just a kind of a shame to let it
It would
rot.
have to be the state of Minnesota to push the issue here.
Well, no, the state of Minnesota owns property, and if there's any cars that are on their property, that's their issue.
There's an issue about what's going on with
They won't,
abandoned cars.
they
and
won't
everything
touch it.
else. The state's not gonna.
No,
No.
no.
Yeah, just one other point. Turn in your per diem request for the second quarter of the year, and the April session, we did not have a planning commission meeting. It was a special session with the council, or the commissioners and everybody. That is a $50 meeting, not a $100 meeting. So just so you're clear on that, so. Motion.
We get paid for these meetings?
For that one, we did. Is it considered a training meeting, however? Motion to adjourn. Motion been second? by
I
Greg.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
But Leroy, if you're getting college credit for this, then you have to pay for it.